Check 1, 2. Super loud. It, yeah, we might need it lower, depending on how many people are here. Then I will lower it.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Tonight we are a quality of crowd, not a quantity. So that's very good. It's all about you. So we're going to have a more musical service, a little less interruption for me, and more just sort of, I just might sit down. I just might give the Torah and sit down.
It's funny, I said we should do more talking today.
Did you say that? You said more talking?
I said it could be more talking today.
I don't know what you're saying. Tine Matov, page 10.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, לה 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 לה.
Let's light our Shabbat candles on this Passover Shabbat. There's always one, mathematically, of course, but there will be a Shabbat during Passover, which just simply means, in my world, that the oneg's not going to be great. That's just but we're supposed to suffer like our ancestors. I just don't think they meant like this. Let's offer the prayer together on page 3. As these Shabbat candles give light to all behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generation of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. It's windy in here.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
I can't believe we're doing this, but in light of current events, that those on the college campuses who are rallying for others to be considered, we don't forget the 129 who are still hostage or not with their families on this Shabbat, this Passover. We'll talk more about that later in the evening. Let us, Cantor, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna try it. You just take us to Kabbalat Shabbat.
Okay, see ya. Let's start Kabbalat Shabbat on page 12. לכו נרננה. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. נריע, נריע לצור אישנו, נקדמה פניו בתודה. נריע, נריע לצור אישנו, בזמירות נריע לו. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. Rabbi, if you're sitting there, then I am bringing something that wasn't on the list. So let's continue with page 13. Why not? We are going to sing Shiru Adonai. I know that you like this melody. It always changes our mood because it starts with a nigun. Nigun is actually meant to start slow and then speed up and hopefully change your mood as you are singing it. So let's see if we can yes, exactly, if we can start this song and feel differently at the end of this prayer. So page 13, Shiru Adonai. Lai, 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 lai. ספרו בגויים כבודו, וכל העמים נפלאותיו. כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. We continue with Shalom Aleichem, page 24, the beautiful poem about our special angels that join us only on Shabbat. So we say to them, hello, Shalom Aleichem, Boachem, welcome, Barchuni, bless us, and Tzetchem, goodbye when Shabbat is over. Page 24. שלום עליכם מלאכי השרת מלאכי עליון אוי 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 מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא בואכם לשלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ברכוני לשלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון אוי 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 מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא צאתכם לשלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. We go back to page 20 to Lecha Dodi. We'll sing verses 1 to 5 and 9, and when we reach the 9th, we will rise and face the door to welcome Shabbat the bride. Lecha Dodi likrat kala פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קהלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קהלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ותפארת ולתהילה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי היא מקורה ברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי אורי שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Now that it's just us and not all those guests that come and they're always, and never get a chance to really greet someone, let's take a real minute, find someone around you, wish them Shabbat Shalom. There is one person who's a guest tonight. Find that guy and say hello. All right, now that we're old friends, no, I'm not calling you old. I'm just saying they're not listening. All right, the cantor and I are going to continue. You do you.
We'll do us.
Page 28.
Nope. Lie, 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 ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך, המבורך לעולם ועד, המבורך, המבורך לעולם ועד.
We continue on page 34 with the words of Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated as we continue the Shema with the V'ahavta on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. מען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We continue with our Mi Chamocha, the words on page 40 that were recorded as we exited the Sea of Reeds, the miracle, the story of Passover, which just so happens to be Passover. So more apropos that a reminder of the miracle of the crossing of the sea is not just something we remind ourselves annually, but we remind ourselves every Shabbat of that we should remember that we were like our ancestors, left Egypt, left through a narrow place, and remind ourselves this week and every week, what do we need to be liberated from? What is keeping us in chains? What do I need to break out of this week so I don't hold myself back? And that is the Mi Chamocha reminder.
Mi Chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot oseh
Our prayer for peace on page 42.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים.
And pausing to remember as if we forgot somehow that it is Shabbat, and this would come in the context that if you were praying daily and going through the motions, that only on Shabbat and only on Friday night we add the Vishamru on page 44, a reminder that how powerful it is that, as the Kol Ami said, we keep Shabbat, and more importantly, the Shabbat keeps us. Vishamru b'nei Israel.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם.
We continue with our tefillah on page 46. We ask you to please rise.
אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה, רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדום מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יללוך סלם. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Take a moment to read the pages, a little time on pages 54 through 59. You don't have to read everything, maybe pick one thing per page, and when you're done, you can be seated.
Turn to page 64, the concluding prayer, Shalom Rav. Page 60. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Ki ata melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
Let's add one more prayer, Mishberach, for those that could use that extra prayer of healing and wholeness this Shabbat. We're thinking of not just first responders and those fighting on the front lines in Israel. We're not just thinking of hostages. We're also thinking of young Jewish college students who are feeling unsafe, and understandably so, this Shabbat. And want to offer a prayer for them as well. And I want to include anyone who wishes to add a name of someone that they're thinking of this Shabbat that could use that extra prayer of wholeness. On page 253 in the back, we'll find, or in the middle, we'll find the middle of the page, we'll find the blessing.
The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
So how did your Seder go? Everyone make it through any awkward conversations? No political. I mean, it's the fourth year. Every fourth year there's going to be a Passover during election year. So I don't know if sometimes that gets a little awkward or heated or divisive or. I don't know about you, but for me, the cantor and I were talking for many days leading up to the Seder, sending examples back and forth. I sent an email out to the congregation, so many ideas amongst the Jewish professional world about just consternation, really, about how many different generations would be sitting around the table and how they would want to respond to the war in Israel and how this will affect the gatherings at the Seder table this year. I saw lots of suggestions. I thought I put together the greatest hits that I wanted to share with you. There were Zoom webinars for colleagues, professionals to talk this through. I mean, there was so much planning for all of you because, I don't know if you know, but Passover is the most observed Jewish holiday of the year because it's a home-based holiday. That's not a joke. That's actually true. It's harder to come to synagogue to celebrate a holiday than it is to just get together with family and do it at home. So they figure that Passover is the biggest. So having conversations about how not to ruin a Seder. People are very worried about it. There was so many advice. Some said, don't even mention it. Don't bring it up. It's the elephant in the room. Some said, have these suggestions. I think it was more the middle of the road, do the Seder with the ancient themes, but also make it relevant, which I think I did, or we did last week, or this past week, by injecting at certain points in the Seder where it was relevant. And there are others who wrote the Haggadah specifically around October 7th and the theme and the hostages and what that means to make those hostages be the ones who need to be redeemed. So much anxiety about Israel and Gaza, and because there's a fear and false belief that you cannot feel empathy towards Israel and the people living in Gaza at the same time, I'd state the obvious. I think many of you here would agree, but it's not, I don't think it's unanimous. I think it's a false dichotomy, and there are two things that can be true. Two different peoples can be suffering at the same time. And when we speak about people being displaced, we can feel for compassion for Israelis who cannot return to their homes because of their proximity to the border and the possibility of rockets and violence. But we can also feel compassion for Palestinians who live under a government that teaches and lead by terror and have wreaked destruction on their own people, and now those people no longer have homes to return to. Both can and are true. And I don't want anyone to suffer, and acknowledging the suffering of, I don't want anyone to suffer, and I want to acknowledge that that the suffering of anybody does not negate the suffering of another people. Life is not a competition in which we must declare that one side is suffering more. And it's with that I turn to what I will admit, I have tried to keep my head in the sand about, which is what's going on the college campuses. And I think by Monday this week, I was like, la, 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 not listening. By Wednesday, my own alma mater had started to have their, it reached all the campus. I think it's everywhere now. Today, I think yesterday, finally ASU popped up with their tents, and it's someone promoted it like it's this generation wants so badly to have their Vietnam, their theme that they get to build their identity around, and yet it is so misguided and it's so wrong, and they have the facts wrong, and there's so many of these students are getting interviewed and questioned, and one after another admit they really don't know what it's about. They don't know what the facts are. They don't know what that expression means. It's just part of the milieu, if you will. The camp has just become the thing right now. And it's just devastating, especially when I can list 10 other sites throughout Africa or in Asia or other countries that have had much worse number of lives lost just in the last year or two. But there's been no campus gathering about the 500,000 people who died over here, the 500,000 people who died over there. I don't know if it's because it's Israel or if it's because Jews. I want to give the benefit of the doubt. But when you hear student after student getting it wrong, that really don't know what they're doing, they just want to be part of something, I think that really speaks to the bottom line. And it's really led to a conversation among us rabbis, because we are seeing now, especially in the last 72 hours, more phone calls from congregants whose children are in campus and either feel unsafe because their children are proud to be Jewish and therefore they're the ones who are being attacked, or they get the other phone call who their child is now in the tents and they no longer can relate to their child because they're not speaking the same language anymore, and they've sort of, if you will, lost them to the other side, and they're not understanding each other, and you get to be that phone call. Hey, Rabbi, what do I do? It's like, oof. It's hard. it is really, really hard what's going on. We're all struggling because we want to listen. One of my colleagues said that if we were to just simply, for lack of a better word, yell at them and tell them how wrong they are and how much of the facts they're missing, like talk to them like a parent and shake them and you don't get it, what are you doing? We all know what's going to happen. They're going to run further into the crowd and we're going to lose them. And someone suggested, think of them like the way the last generation, I'm going back, generations are getting shorter and shorter. So when I say last generation, I mean like 20 years ago, maybe 25 years ago, when that generation was dealing with interfaith families. And what we now sort of take for granted as parents would call the rabbi and say, my son or daughter just dating a non-Jew, and what do I do? And we thought the world was coming to an end. I remember being in rabbinical school 25 years ago, and they're saying the Jewish community is going to be over in the next generation or two because of all this intermarriage. And the lessons they taught the rabbis at the time were embrace them, don't turn yourself off to them, because you need to talk with them, embrace them, and that became the mode, the MO, and sure enough, I think 50% of our religious school are made up of interfaith families who are choosing to have Jewish homes. But that's the key part. It's because of the relationships, because of the communication. And so the suggestion, granted we're only 72 hours into this, what's going on campus, and these students, having to listen to them. And as much as you have to bite our tongues and just listen, they want to be heard, they have their opinions. But I would be remiss that I feel very strongly how to put this into words, and a colleague of mine just posted these remarks that he shared, Rabbi Evan Schultz, and he said, I want to share it with you because it really, I just want to say ditto, because it's this beautiful. He says, it's an open letter to the protesters at Columbia University and across the United States. He says, I write to you on the eve of the Jewish Sabbath and amidst the festival of Passover. This year, as Jewish families gathered for their Passover Seders to sing melodies of freedom and redemption, we anxiously watch clips on the news and social media of your encampments and protests on campus in support of the Palestinian people. I should preface by saying that I wholeheartedly support free speech and peaceful protest. I have stood and marched many times throughout my life for causes that I believe in. I am with you in supporting the plight of the Palestinian people towards self-determination, living side by side one day with Israel in peace. And there is much to be angry and upset about these days. Many innocent Gazans have suffered without adequate food or water or medical supplies and shelter due to the war between Israel and Hamas. All of us who care about the lives of innocent civilians should advocate they get the support and the substance they need right now. The Palestinians you support have longed for statehood and independence for many years. To see you place the blame for the entirety of on the shoulders of Israel is sorely misguided. Going back to 1947, Arabs and now Palestinians have had opportunities to establish an independent state. And yes, Israel too has presented obstacles to independence with the continued expansion of settlements and the recent election of a more right-wing government. However, Israel has also made efforts over the years to make Palestinian statehood a reality. The Gaza Strip, which many of you shout is currently occupied by Israel. I don't know if you've seen the signs, get out, Israel's get out. Which is funny because Israel left Gaza in 2005. Israelis were pulled, if you recall, out of their homes in 2005 by other Israelis. The Israeli military closed down their posts across Gaza. All of this was done in an effort to begin the Palestinian process of statehood on the part of Israelis. However, the people of Gaza elected Hamas into office the next year. The stated mission of Hamas is to annihilate the Jewish people. and to destroy the state of Israel, period. It is in their charter. You can look it up. Since their rule in 2006, Israelis have been subjected to rocket attacks, terrorist attacks, and the horrific murders of 1,200 Israelis on October 7th at the hands of Hamas. Hamas has been labeled a terrorist organization by the United States government, and at this very moment, they continue to hold over 100 Israeli and American citizens hostage in tunnels beneath the earth. As Jews around the world celebrated Passover, Seders, the hostages long to return home to their families and friends. You profess to care about human rights and the well-being of others. Where is the concern for Israeli hostages? Is it not possible to cry for more than one group of people at a time? Is it because they're Israeli, because they're Jewish? Does your anger blind you from seeing the suffering of all people? There are sadly many groups of peoples around the world who suffer, and I don't want to take away from the suffering of the Palestinian people. But I ask, why do you not cry out for others? If this was not a war with Israel, would you still be out on the lawn shouting for their freedom? Some of your protests have become increasingly radicalized in your viewpoints. Now your fellow protesters are openly expressing their support for Hamas. A group was recorded, burn Tel Aviv to the ground. Another set of students called for an intifada, which is an uprising targeting Jews and Israelis in Israel. One of the leaders of the Columbia University protest recorded himself stating that Zionists deserve to die and that we should be grateful that I'm not just going out and murdering Zionists. He was also filmed on camera several days ago organizing a human chain on the lawn of Columbia so that Zionists or Jewish students could not pass on their own campus. How is it that some of you care so much about the Palestinian people and yet so little for some of your fellow Jewish students and professors right there on your own campus? Pro-Israel Jewish students have been reported shoved, pushed, chased, and subject to verbal threats. A student at Yale was stabbed in the eye. The Columbia rabbi encouraged Jewish students to go home for their safety. An Israeli-American business professor at Columbia had his ID privileges revoked from campus. He was attempting to enter the campus this week to read aloud the name of the hostages who remain in captivity in Gaza, when in the view of the students and a Columbia administrator, his ID card was rejected as he attempted to enter campus. You have claimed your protests and your encampments fall under the purview of free speech. Do you support a university professor having the entrance to his own campus blocked? Would you support pro-Israel speakers to come and lecture on your campus right now? Or would you attempt to have their speaking engagement canceled? Free speech does not work when you advocate for your own professors and at the same time attempt to block and silence the voice of others. I write to you tonight not as a rabbi and a Jew. I write to you tonight as a rabbi and a Jew who's afraid for the well-being of our children expressing pro-Israel views on college campuses around the country. I understand Jewish students who are anti-Zionist and support ceasefire and divestment from Israel have been welcomed into your encampments and protests. Your anger and your hostility is creating an environment that is not safe for some of your fellow students. Some of your protests are growing more radicalized and threatening each and every day. My plea to you is that you focus your protests specifically on the actions of the Israeli government in support of your rights and the well-being of Palestinian people. Your chants supporting Hamas, Intifada, and violence against Zionists and Jews are dangerous and misguided. I promise you that most of you would not want to live under the rule of Hamas or the Iranian government, who notably recently, in the last couple of days, have begun to praise your protests on campus. Each day I pray for peace between the people of Israel and the Palestinian people. I mourn for the loss of the Israelis and the innocent Palestinians who have died or been killed over the last 6 months. I pray for the release of the Israeli hostages and the well-being and the support of the Palestinian people. I can hold space in my heart for both. I pray that our college campuses will return to being spaces of conversation, questioning, and thought. Many of your claims about Israel are false and misguided. Protesters have been filmed admitting they don't even know what it is they're protesting. You have reduced an immensely complex and complicated conflict into slogans and chants like Israel commits genocide or from the river to the sea, we will be free. And finally, I pray for each of you. I pray you care for the people for whom you protest. Many of the Palestinian people suffered tonight, and I pray for them too. And I pray that you find space in your hearts for the Israeli hostages and the Jewish students supporting Israel who fear walking on their own campus this evening. Like you, I believe we have the ability to create something better than exists right now for Israelis and for Palestinians. But it will take love, not hate. It will take conversation, not shouting. It will take open arms, not pushing and shoving. I pray tonight you find the courage to shift your hearts and minds to together build a world of chesed, of love, compassion, and redemption for all people as we all yearn to be free. Shabbat Shalom. I see what I mean. It was just nailed it. I think that was fantastic remarks, and I throwing aside my remarks tonight because it was such an open letter that I thought needed to be amplified and heard. And I was similarly was going to share that thinking about that at Passover Seder we used the act of lessening the gladness, the joy at Passover with our finger of taking the wine out of a cup and thinking of all those who suffer. And I was going to go a little into that, which we can do. I've plenty of years to hit that topic. I don't have to do it this year. But it was going to make the connection that we can have more than one kind of suffering going on, and that we can have a place in our heart for caring for more than one at a time. So I hope that I have shared, for those of you on Facebook, I shared these remarks that I just shared with you on our Kol Ami page to be amplified, and I hope that you will amplify it out, because I don't know how, as someone jokingly said on his post, I don't know how the students are going to hear this, because we're all sharing it amongst ourselves, but I hope somebody will forward it on to them or to a child of someone in the community who can share it. So tomorrow morning, I'll continue online with Torah study, and on Sunday, our second to last religious school class of the year. We're going to finish next weekend. I can't believe it's May next week. That was fast. And on Monday is the last day of the Jewish holiday of Passover, and traditionally we make Yizkor or Yizkor on Monday. Temple Chai, Temple Beth Israel, Temple Solel, and Kol Ami will all celebrate Yizkor or Passover minyan together on Monday morning, and it will be held at Beth Israel, and the area clergy will take turns in leading that service, and it will rotate each holiday where in the community it goes. So eventually Kol Ami will host. I think our next pilgrimage holiday is Shavuot in the middle of June. I want to say Temple Chai is going to host. I don't know. No, maybe Solel. I think Solel, because there's no way Chai could have done it yet. Okay, never mind. We'll get that when we get closer. But Monday at Beth Israel at 10 a.m. Is there anything that's coming up right away that we need to know about?
I do want to say that in 2 weeks we have, again, the Rosh Chodesh. Again, we're celebrating another new moon. So it'll be on the 11th of May. So it's not next Saturday, but the Saturday after that on the 11th. So that's a women's only Rosh Chodesh gathering. We do have the teacher appreciation and band. It's in 2 weeks, but it'll be very nice to appreciate and to honor our teachers, our religious school teachers, and that will be wonderful with the band as well.
Oh, yeah, great.
Yeah.
Let's conclude our service with Aleinu and Kaddish. Boys, do you want to open the ark? Will you help me? I can't do it. I'm like, oh, my back. Oh, come on. You guys do it. I need you to open the door. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We remain standing as we turn to the Kaddish on page 294. As we ask those who may want to share a name out loud or thinking of someone that we may have lost in recent days or those that we lost at this season in years past, may be observing or your type. We gather those names and memories as we say, Yit Gadal V'Yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma Divrach Yotev Lamich Machutei, B'chayechon Uv'yomechon Uv'chayei D'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala Uv'izman Kari V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mivarach Le'alam Omei Maya, Yit Barach V'Yishtabach V'Yit Pa'ar V'Yit Romam V'Yit Naseh, V'Yit Hadar, V'Yit Haleh, V'Yit Halal, Shemei Kudesha, Brechu, Ve'ela Minko, Birchata, V'Shirata, Tushbechata, V'Nechemata, Da'amiran, Be'alma, V'Imru, Amen. Ehe Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'Chaim Aleinu, V'Arko Yisrael, V'Imru, Amen. Osei Shalom B'Mromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu, V'Arko Yisrael, V'Imru, Amen. Zichronam Levracha, may all of their names and their memories continue to be for a blessing as we say Amen. We make the Kiddush on page 5, 7, 5, 3, 5, 7, 5. What did we move it? It's on 5. I told you. It was my first inclination.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam boreh peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratoin chilanu zikaron למעשה וראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת לחיים.
לחיים. Oh, look what we got. It's the special
The good stuff.
it's the special one that has
Nothing.
Metamucil in it. It's rebranded this year called "Let My People Go Matzah." Let my people go. All right.
We got it. We got it.
Say it again?
No, we get it.
Okay.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המוציא לחם מן הארץ בתיאבון.
Yeah, I'm not eating that. No, no. You want to walk it around, take it around, bring it around town to everybody. There you go. I got my matzah crumbs all over from Rito vacuum.
As the matzah moves along, let's sing Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu.